Okay, so we're continuing the Tomer Devorah, chapter 6, and the week of Gevurah. I mean, the week of Gevurah. We passed the week of Gevurah. The middle of Gevurah, which we're already in Netzach in Sefirah. We're trying to catch up, but at least this will be able to be used next year or even just now this year to understand better whenever there's Gevurah in one of the other spheres, because they're all intertwined, interconnected. So what is Yargil Adam Atzmo B'midas HaGevurah? How does a man accustom himself? Right here, we're saying that those midos, those energies that are created by Hashem called spheros, they exist in us and exist in the world, and we can tap into it, and we need to think about it and understand how they work and understand the dynamic so that we can be aware and act more properly and think properly, do the right thing. So how should a person train himself in the attribute of Gevurah? So Gevurah here translated as might, power, severity. Let's remember Gevurah correspond to Yitzchak, Avinu, right? Abraham is Chesed, Gevurah is Yitzchak, and so we have that famous Akedat Yitzchak. So what do we learn from Yitzchak? How to achieve Gevurah, right? And we know also that in Kabbalah, the man is Chesed and the woman is Gevurah. The woman is has a tremendous strength. You know, the woman is the one giving birth, which is, I don't think any man want to even think of going through that, because how difficult it is. So the woman had that inner strength. It's more of an emotional strength, as opposed to the man who has more an intellectual strength, let's put it that way. Sometimes it's reversed, again, male, female energy, but the idea is that women have that quality of creating limits, building, right? So she has the Bina Yezerah, she builds, and she's given that quality of Gevurah, which enables to channel the chesed. The man is chesed, he has love, he has energy. The woman helps him channel the chesed so that the chesed becomes something productive, something constructive and positive, well used. So that's what Gevurah is. So he's going to explain. Know that any arousal of the Yetzer Hara actually arouses powerful Gevuros. So therefore, one should not stir up the Yetzer Hara lest Gevurah be aroused. The explanation of this is as follows. So he's making a very big important statement, meaning that when we let ourselves fall into certain thoughts or actions or emotions that have to do with the Yetzer Hara, and we like you say, you're not allowed to stare at a woman. You can look at a woman just for business or for just something simple, but you're not allowed to stare. When you stare, that means you're like starting to arouse the Gevuros, meaning you arouse the side of you that is more connected to the Yetzer Hara, and then that arouses the higher in the spiritual world, what is called Gevuros, which is kind of which connect to judgment, because in the world of perfection, in the world of Gevurah, in the world of Din, in the world of where everything is right and just, any mistake you make, right? So we have to understand that we create those tsunamis, those pandemic, those sicknesses, all types of problems, those car crash, we create, I mean, not again, sometimes there's something beyond that, but just our, we put ourselves sometimes in difficult situation because we have let ourselves fall into this side of ourselves, which is going to Yetzer Hara, which is the Gevurah. So again, there's a positive and negative side to the Gevurah. You can say a din, a judgment, or something that happens because we have done that. It's not bad. It's judgment. I mean, is judgment bad? No. It's it's trying to rectify the world, to bring back balance to the world. There was too much chesed or misdirected chesed. So now the Gevurah has to readjust and make the world become more balanced so that then we can go to Tiferes. So that's basically the idea. So man was created with two inclinations, the Yetzer HaTov and the Yetzer Hara. That's the famous Kavanah that we have when we say Shema, Bechol Levavcha, right? Why do you say Bechol Libcha? Because it's like a plural, like there's two, because it's telling you that the side of your heart that is at desire things that are not good for you, and the side of your heart that is desire good things. So you should use both for Hashem, for service Hashem. So, for example, if I'm hungry, so, but I want to eat something more tasty. So instead of eating during the week, which is just about my own personal satisfaction, I'm gonna say I'm gonna keep that for Shabbos. And now I have used that, directed that thing that was just about my personal pleasure. Now I connect it to something holy for a higher purpose for Shabbos, and therefore now it becomes Oneg Shabbos. Then it becomes a part of, I'm enjoying that not just now because I have the desire, but because also I want to use it to serve Hashem, to enjoy the pleasures of Hashem, and to connect, to elevate the experience of Shabbos. So that would be an example. However, the Zohar, and before I read the whole line, the Yetzer HaTov and the Yetzer Hara are the good inclination and the evil inclination, of which the former is Chesed and the latter is Gevurah. Okay, so good inclination is Chesed, evil inclination is Gevurah. However, the Zohar on Bereshis explains that the Yetzer HaTov was created for the needs of the person himself, whereas the Yetzer Hara was created for the sake of his wife. That's like a whole new thing. You know why you have a Yetzer Hara? Is because you need to be married, is to be used for your wife, right? Which is interesting. It's like, really? Actually, the Midrash, Rabbah says in Bereshis that the Yetzer Hara was created in the same time as the woman. Interesting. Those women, no. But the idea is that the woman is here to help you grow. The Yetzer Hara is also here to help you grow. It's here to challenge you. The Yetzer Hara is here to challenge you. The wife is here to challenge you. The woman is actually going to reveal in you all your flows, all your Yetzer Hara, but she's going to help you channel it. So that's the whole challenge. A woman needs to be aware that the man needs his ego to be boosted. He needs to be humble too, but he needs to be recognized. He needs to direct his sexual inclination. Yeah, he has strong sexual energy. So the woman is going to know to honor her husband so that he feels honored by his wife and not by the outside, so that he becomes a big shot and he becomes arrogant. And so she's going to do the job to make him feel good, to make him feel like a man, to make him feel that he's like a king. In the same time, right? Obviously, he has a job to do the same to his wife, but that's her main mission as a woman, to help him channel those things and find the positive part of it, so it doesn't fall in the Yetzer Hara, meaning in a destructive way. He actually elevates the Yetzer Hara, it channels the Yetzer Hara, because there's no intrinsic evil. Evil is misdirected good that now needs to be rectified. So and for the sexual energy, she has to make her be attractive to her husband. She has to seduce him. She has to want to be with him, and so that's also, she helps him channel that sexual energy so it doesn't go anywhere else. Chas v'shalom. So that's a bit what it's saying. So see how delightful these words are. So in a way, if you want a man to be saved from his Yetzer Hara, marry him. To a good woman, because a bad woman is going to push him further down. So see how delightful these words are. Tiferes, which contains the quality of chesed, tends to the right, and all its activities is on the right, which is the Yetzer Tov. So Tiferes, which is the middle Sefirah, we have Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferes. So Tiferes is the center, is like the heart, but it's a little bit more to the right, meaning, so we're going to see after what Tiferes is, but he's explaining that all the actions of Tiferes, of this, which correspond to Yaakov, everything that Yaakov does is more to the right, meaning it's a balance between Chesed and Gevurah, but it's more good, it's more action, there's more energy focused on doing Chesed than being connected with the Gevurah. Meaning I'm trying to do more Asetov than Sur Mera, so to speak. Which means more involved in doing good actions than to be busy with focusing on not doing negative actions. I believe the Stipler says if Sur Mera Asetov is difficult, do Asetov, do a lot of good, and then you won't have time to be busy with doing bad stuff. If you're involved with doing good things, then you won't have time, you won't be busy, you won't be tricked by the Yetzer Hara. So but Malchus tends to the left, and all these activities is with Gevurah. So Malchus, which is there, correspond to David HaMelech, is connected to the left, and therefore to Gevurah. Tiferes more to the right, Malchus to the left. Malchus, as we know, is more the woman, the female energy receiving, and therefore it connects to the Gevurah. And as we saw, King David was very involved with, it has a lot of Gevurah. He was a sword, he was killing people, bad people, but there was bloody, there was a lot of Gevurah in the Malchus. So it has a tendency to be, the female energy has a tendency to be connected more to the left. And as we see, unfortunately, it's something that I don't even understand how it is possible. But where we have with the internet, they are. I can't even fathom I don't want even to imagine. But I know for a fact, already at the time when I was 20 years ago, there were a lot of websites, with women selling their bodies, whatever, porn site. And today, I don't even know how many sites. I think there's millions of, the millions of women outside. They make it's so there is that danger in that female energy to make men fall and go more to the left. And that's a problem. So that's the Malchus connected to the left side. Consequently, So they are directing all that man energy, but in a wasteful way. And it means all what's happening with all those women. What happened to them? I mean, we know some of them are abused, all that, but now they make a money. It becomes a job for them. It's crazy. Okay, so it's sad. It's really sad. That's really what it's painful. There's a lot of healing necessary. So consequently, it is proper and beneficial not to arouse the Yetzer Hara, lest it arouse Gevurah in the higher world and destroy this world. If we're not careful and we spend more time on the left side, meaning involved with the Yetzer Hara and dwell in it, it's gonna literally destroy the world. That's what happened with Noah. Any arousal of the aspect of Gevurah and the Yetzer Hara, a person bestirs in himself creates a corresponding flow. So I was saying before, in the higher world. Based on this idea, one should note how disgraceful anger and the like are, for they cause harsh Gevurah to prevail. So interesting, right? The example he brings is anger. That if you get angry, you arouse the Gevurah. You bring anger into the world. There's a statement from Rabbi Ben Shetrit, which is a very famous French rabbi today. He's like really a bit of a genius Jewish philosopher, and he quotes. I think he quotes the Zohar. I forgot where he quotes it from, but he says the level. We know that a man who sleeps with a woman when she's nida is kares. It's a big problem. It's spiritually very destructive, and it's the highest level of tuma, so to speak, right? The blockage is so strong because it's a very high level of impurity, of blockage. So he says, based on the source, that when a man or woman gets really angry, like really, you get angry, express your anger, so like rage, road rage, whatever, that person achieved the same level of impurity as a woman who is nida, meaning of the blood. It's not the right. It's doesn't make the woman be bad, but it's the same. It brings the same effect in the world. So now you think of yourself or people in the world who get angry, like it's scary. That's how bad it is. We don't realize how destructive our character traits are. Only when we say big things. Oh yeah, sleeping with a woman who is nida. Oh yeah, no, transgressing Shabbat. Oh yeah, those things. But he is telling you anger is as bad as if you sleep with a woman who has her period and right, that's how bad it is. So we don't imagine. So that anger creates an anger in the world, because in a way, midah keneged midah, whatever you throw in the world, whatever energy you send in the world, this is what the karma is going to come back, and you might have anger coming towards you. So why would you get angry if you know Hashem is going to get angry at you? That's right. Who will punch himself like that? I mean, some people crazy to do that, but right, it's you're punching yourself basically when you do those things. It's scary. So based on this idea, one should note how well. Okay, so indeed, the Yetzer Hara should be around, because, by the way, the Gevurah, the anger, it comes from the ego, the arrogance. Again, that's the left side, the Yetzer Hara. You're arousing part of you that has to do with the ego, with the Baal Gaiva, arrogance, and yeah. So that's we have to be careful to have good self-esteem and not be arrogant, be humble. Indeed, the Yetzer Hara should be bound and tied so that it cannot be activated in any physical activity. So here we remember the things of the Akedat Yitzchak was bound. Yitzchak himself say, bind myself because I don't want to move, if once when you cut. He had that total clarity and strength to go through what I need to go through, right? That's a tremendous strength. So we need to find a way to control those energies, to bind and tie oneself with whatever tools we need. Neither in desiring intercourse, nor in desiring money, neither for anger, nor for honor in any way. However, for the sake of his wife, a man should gently arouse his inclination toward sweetened gevurahs. So that's what we explained before. The woman helps him direct. So providing her with clothing and a house. So why do you want money? Why you should not desire money? Oh, but I have a wife. I need some money to, buy her shoes and clothing and jewelry, make her feel pretty, and to take her on vacation, on a date. That's why I want money, but not to have money for have money. Why do you want money? To have power? You have enough to eat, you have a roof. Okay, you don't need anything else. No, for my wife. Okay, so there's that need. I want to be successful. I want to be powerful. I want money, but really, it needs to be directed towards the holy purpose, which is my wife. And the wife is the Gevurah, helps me tie that down, so to speak. So however, for the sake of his wife, a man should gently arouse his inclination towards sweetened gevurahs, providing her with clothing and a house, for example. So again, he's allowed to arouse. I need to show my wife I love her, so I let my sexual desire being released so that I can use it for her, right? And that's so meaning we have to know when to direct it, but basically it's mostly when for the sake of one's wife. Desire for ego, okay, you want to be a man, you want to feel like a man, okay, so when you're with your wife, show her you're a man. You want to feel you have money, successful, okay, for your wife, do it. For you want to be sexually like, feel like a man and be aroused, okay, then only do it with your wife. So then all he's saying that all his desires that come from, or that looks like come, I mean, most of the time come from the left side, from the Yetzer Hara, they can all be used for good, as long as it's directed towards the wife. He should say, by providing my wife with clothes, I am restoring the Shechina, for the Shechina is adorned by Bina, which is also an aspect of Gevurah, since Bina includes all severities. So he's saying that I'm buying clothing for, here he's saying something very deep, because he's saying, I have to look at my wife as the Shechina, right? We have to learn to be married with God. My wife, my spouse, is supposed to be that place where that relationship that is similar. Say, okay, if she was Hashem, right, the Shekhinah, the female energy of Hashem, right? So how would I act? How would I treat her? So when I act towards my wife, I have to think this is what I'm doing with Hashem. Hashem hides behind the people. Hashem hides, right? Megillas Esther, we have a mask. Moshe was hiding his face because there was a light of Hashem, of his soul in in him, we have to understand that Hashem is hiding behind the people. So when we are able to focus on one's wife as she's the Shechina, right? Then we are able to interact with her as if we interact with Hashem, and Hashem take it as if we're doing with her. So since the woman or the Shechina is connected to Bina, and Bina is connected directly, it's what contains all the Gevurah, right? It comes under. So all the Gevuras are being sweetened, so to speak, because I'm taking care of Bina, of the Shechina, through taking care of my wife, by using those strengths of Gevurah properly. So therefore, I'm so to speak creating that bond with the Shechina. And since Bina includes all the severities, we sweeten it. What is always the goal, to sweeten in Kabbalah? They always speak to sweeten the Din, right? We do it all the time. That's why we say the 13 attributes of mercy. We want to appease the Gevurah, appease the judgment, and so by taking care of one's wife, that's one of the best ways to do it. A man's job is to appease his wife as much as possible. I know it's mostly mostly with women here, but send them the video. But the man needs to appease the woman's emotions, or that's his job, make her feel loved and secure. And you have to understand that when he does that, it's as if he does it with a Shechina. Yet Bina, someone of compassion, sweetens those severities. Therefore, all household necessities restore the Shechina, which is sweetened by way of the Yetzer Hara, which was created solely to fulfill the will of its creator. Like we said before, the Yetzer Hara is created just by Hashem also. So therefore, all household necessities restore the Shechina. Everything that I do for my home, everything that I do for my wife when she's home with the kids, all that's the home is a Mikdash Me'at, is a little Beis HaMikdash, it's a Mishkan, and we are therefore saying that we're using, it's an opportunity to bring God's presence in there, the Shechina, by what? By taking care of the home and one's wife. That's how it's done. And there I can use my Yetzer Hara in a constructive way. For this reason, the man should not intend to derive pleasure of any sort from the evil inclination. Rather, when his wife adorns herself and delights in their fine home in his presence, he should contemplate the restoration of the Shechina, which is rectified by way of the beneficial powers of the left, whence wealth and honor derive. So man needs to understand that he needs to do everything so that his wife feels that when she's home, she feels like a queen. Basically, that's what it's saying. Like a queen, and when he sees her in a state of happiness and joy and beauty and feeling love and being dressed nicely because he has provided with what she needs to be nice, then he has to imagine that this is the Shechina being restored in the Mishkan, in the Beis HaMikdash. It's amazing. If the woman is not happy, there's no Shechina in the home. Go tell the man that. They need to hear it from a man. That's what a woman says. I mean, they can hear it from the Torah Devorah. So, for the sake of this restoration, one should arouse the Yetzer Hara to love the Shechina. So, I'm allowed, so to speak, to unleash or to arouse my sexual energy for my wife. So because I want to show my wife love, so by using my Yetzirah, by using that desire, that sexual desire, I can show her even more fully how all I want is her, all my desires towards her, and we can go give her even more love and pleasure. And in the same time, it's as if we make love to the Shekhinah. One should arouse the Yetzirah to love the Shekhinah. This is what it's saying, right? To this Rabbi Israel Towers that used to speak that you can make love with God. Obviously, it's not literal, right? We're not in kindergarten. We're speaking on the spiritual level. Our physical action describes something as if we're making love with God, as if there's a relationship, an intimacy that is very, very deep. Love doesn't have to be just making love, just have to be sexual. It means a very, what I mean, two souls making love, meaning they become united, complete harmony, they love each other. They dvekus, that's what dvekus is. So in this world, the mashal is the sexual, the intimacy, but it's to teach us what we can have with Hashem on a spiritual level. Then he should concentrate on drawing the Shekhinah near through the aroused aspects of the left. According to the mystical explanation of the verse, his left arm is under my head. So that's his kavana. Whatever I'm doing with whenever a man deals with his wife, he needs to have in mind that it's as if I'm interacting with the Shekhinah. So it might appear difficult to think like that way, when we're speaking about just, taking care of the kids, the kitchen, the food, whatever, everyday life. It looks like a mundane stuff routine, but really, no. Remember, the wife is the Merkava for the Shekhinah. Now, the woman herself, she has to understand that she is part of that process and that she needs to facilitate the husband to be able to do that. A woman who learns how to guide, we know the woman is the Gevurah, so there's a true power. She can make her husband become evil or good. So if she speaks to her husband and she learned how to channel his Yetzirah when she sees that, he's sexually, aroused, that she tried to direct him and take care of him, and when if he needs his ego to be boosted or his self-esteem, then she does what she needs to do. She understands that she's like the Shekhinah helping Klal Yisrael to direct their energy in a proper, useful way, constructive way. For the Shekhinah is connected initially only by way of the left. After this, as the verse continues, and his right arm embraces me, he should concentrate on sweetening all those acts of restoring the Shekhinah with his Yetzer Tov, literally reinstating the Shekhinah and causing her to rejoice by performing this precept for the sake of the supernal union, which we said like intimacy. Thus, he sweetens all the severities and rectifies them through the right. This method applies to all types of desire deriving from the Yetzirah. They should be used mainly for the benefit of the wife. God has chosen as his compatible helper. Okay, Ezer Kenegdo, that she's helping him direct all types of desires that comes from the Yetzirah. That's how Hashem, the Ramak described Ezer Kenegdo. Afterwards, he should direct all of them to his service of God, guiding them to the right. So we have, it's like he uses all his desire like towards his wife, and then he can transfer, interpret, and use that to love Hashem more, right? The more I am one with my wife, the more I'm one with Hashem, right? To go tell that the man too again, not easy. Okay, so I think we're gonna stop here in terms of, because I don't want to start the whole new chapter. This is long. Won't have time to finish. So it's since it's deep stuff, I don't want any questions that you have. Welcome.
We're just glad to have you back, Rabbi G.
Oh,
good to see you.
Yes, thank you. Good to be seen. Thank you for joining and supporting the spreading of Torah in the world.
Of course, this is my second class for tonight, but I'm still with you.
Thank you. It's an honor, really an honor. So yeah, if you don't have any questions, we're gonna stop here. And I thank you for joining and changing the world with me. And we'll continue, God willing, next week latest, hopefully.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.